Hi, it's Carolle Hilton here and Sophie Silverman with A.G.Secure HomeWatch, and we are here today with Rod Mysko from Custom Comfort Climate Care, owner and operator, and we're here to talk about preparing your home for a winter and looking at it from an HVAC perspective. So Rod, what is the most important or one of the most important things to consider when you're leaving your home?
One of the most important things is who's going to look after your home when you're away. You know, is it going to be a family member, a friend, a company such as yours, A.G.Secure HomeWatch? Because you've got to call your insurance company and find out what are the limitations as to how long you can be away with nobody looking after your home, and what kind of documentation is required to prove that somebody was looking after your home, so that if anything happens, you still have insurance coverage.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's talk about turning it down the heat. At what level is it acceptable to turn down the heat?
Yeah, so basically after you've looked after your home, the next thing you're going to do is, because you don't want your home to be heated at what's comfortable for you or I when we're at home, you can turn down your heat. Now, with the high efficiency furnaces nowadays, you can turn down your heat to 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Anything below that, then you can start causing internal damage to the furnace, which will decrease the life expectancy on it and actually could void your warranty on the actual furnace, such as your heat exchanger. So remember, no more than not minus 16, you're getting away from the minus 16 degrees, 16 degrees Celsius.
Perfect, okay. But what about winterizing your plumbing? What would you recommend for that?
Well, basically from a winterizing your plumbing standpoint, I mean, that's another video with the plumber itself. However, the thing is, from our standpoint, we still look at the fact is, if you're going to drain your water, then you have to deal with other items that are in your home, such as your domestic hot water. You have to deal with your domestic hot water, and as well as humidification items and your water softener. So let's start with the hot water. There's a couple of different kinds of hot water tanks. We have hot water tanks, which are either atmospheric or they're power vent. On a power vent model, that's got the plastic piping going outside. What you'll want to do with that one is you're going to unplug it. You can turn the gas off, and if you choose to drain it, you can drain it. That's your call, one way or another. But the fact is, you want to unplug it to make sure that it's not going to come on. One other thing that you can do though with that, if you're not going away for an extended period of time, you can actually, some of them have vacation mode, which will save you some money. Okay?
Yeah.
If we go to an atmospheric, that's an older style one, which's got a tin venting on it. Basically on those ones there, they don't have any power to them, so you want to make sure you turn the gas off to it. And you can, as well as turn the water off to the particular unit. For the on-demand units, basically you want to unplug the unit, and if you choose to drain it, there should be service valves on it. Now, when you drain them, this is the important thing with all the tanks, because if you drain the hot water out of it, you got to make sure when you turn your water back on, you want to make sure that you shut those service valves back closed, because otherwise you'll have water all over the floor. You will also have, when you're turning back your system back, when you come back from vacation, make sure that if you have a storage tank and you've drained it, you fill it before you turn it back on. Okay? Please fill it up.
Okay, let's move on to fireplaces.
Yes, fireplaces as a secondary source of heat. So you've got your primary source of heat, your furnace. You've got it set at 55 degrees Fahrenheit, 16 degrees Celsius. Now, if it happens to fail, then you can also have a fireplace that could be your backup source of heat. Now, the thing is, if you've got a fireplace with a wall switch, which you just turn it off and on, that really won't work as a secondary source of heat, because somebody actually has to physically turn it on or off. What we recommend is you can either have a digital control to it, or you have an analog thermostat where you could actually set it, say, at 10 degrees Celsius, so that at least you've got a few degrees play between the furnace shutting off and the fireplace coming on, and that'll help protect your pipes.
Okay. Is there any concern with having snow build up along the sides of your house and potentially blocking some of your airflow to your vents?
Yes, absolutely. So whomever's looking after your house, make sure that they know where the vents are to all of your gas burning appliances. And because if the vent gets covered with snow, the systems are designed, they have safety features within them to stop the units, and they'll shut off. So basically your furnace will not operate if the furnace vents are plugged.
Right, right. And then we all know what happens then.
Yeah. Then
Right. Right, okay.
Yeah. One other thing, so I know earlier we were mentioning about the humidifier. Let me talk to you about a couple of other items. Humidifiers, make sure you turn them off. You're not going to need the humidity while you're away, especially if you shut the water off in your home. If you've left the water on and you're running it because the hardwood floors are wet, that's your choice. But then you're making sure that the whole system is running, and you want to make sure that somebody might be even coming in a little bit more frequently than whatever is required. As far as your water softener, you unplug it, and remember when you turn it back on, reset the timing device. You have to reset the timer too, because otherwise who knows when it's going to start running again to do the,
Right. Go through its cycle.
Yeah, go through its cycle.
Right.
Oh, I know there was another thing that I was going to mention too. One thing that people don't realize too is change your filter before you go away. If you've got a 5-inch media filter, you'll be good for the entire season. If you're going away for 3 or 4 months or 5 months, how some people go away, you want to make sure you have at least one backup 1-inch filter, at least one, because there are as many times when if that filter becomes plugged, the high limit switch will go off in the furnace,
Right.
and again, you have a no heat situation.
Right, right, okay.
Okay?
What's the lifespan of a furnace nowadays, the average?
Yeah, the average lifespan of furnace nowadays is 15 to 18 years. And the other thing I'm going to mention too is some people still have the old, mid efficiency furnaces. So we stopped installing those in 2010. So you've got a situation where you've got a furnace that's probably 10, 12, 15, 18 years old or even older. Make sure that you get a precision tune-up done before you go away. And at some point in time, you may want to be looking at getting a brand new furnace, because most new furnaces nowadays have 10-year parts manufacturer warranty. So at least even if you're away and something does happen, at least you're not paying for the part. You may have to pay for some labor, but again, you're not paying for the part as.
Right, right.
And what would be the warning signs that it's going on the fritz?
Well, some of the warning signs you may have is, people that don't get their furnace if they don't get maintenance done on their furnace regularly, you'll find that sometimes it has troubles igniting. And that's just a simple thing that, when we do our annual service on a furnace, we would look after that. It's the same thing as when your lawnmower, you start your lawnmower and you have your spark plug and you're trying to get the unit to start and you're pulling the cord, and then it's as simple as taking the spark plug out, cleaning off the igniter part of it and putting it back in. Well, the furnace has the same thing, and that's something we look after on an annual basis.
Okay, and what about your hot water tank? What's the life expectancy, and how do you know from?
Water tanks are, again, that's a little different question, only because the tanks they can last 12 to 18 years, and again, it all depends on the water quality that's going in. As an example, if you're looking at a hot water tank that is in the north end of Barrie, where the water's harder, you're not going to get as long of life expectancy as if you're on the new water treatment center.
Right.
Okay, and if you have a water softener, that will increase the length, lifetime capacity of your equipment.
Great. Okay. And do you have any stories that you can share about situations that have occurred?
Well, we had one interesting story that I got a phone call from one of our long-term customers at around 10:30 at night on a Sunday night, and it was an emergency. Please, you need to come out here immediately. And I go, well, can we not wait till tomorrow? And it's basically, no, you have to understand, we just got back from vacation and our furnace is not running. I said, okay. And they said, and the house is only 2 degrees Celsius. I said, oh, okay, that is a problem. And it was about minus 15 degrees. So we came over, we provided them with a couple of heaters at that point in time, and we did shut down the water source to their home and installed a new furnace the next day. But again, here's somebody that did not have anybody looking after their home, had an older furnace, so they had a furnace that was 18 to 20 years old. It did break down, and so it's just something that you have to be aware of, especially on the older equipment. Make sure somebody's looking after your home and coming in and looking, after your best interests.
Right. We use through A.G.Secure HomeWatch the Honeywell frost and leak detector. And what do you think about that kind of a device for monitoring?
Oh, that's an excellent idea, because if somebody doesn't have in their existing thermostat, they would have to have a Wi-Fi thermostat. They would also have to have a low temperature warning system. If you don't have that in your existing thermostat, that's an excellent idea, because then with that device, if there's a leak detected or if it's below a certain temperature, you're going to get notified. And the most important thing there is the caretaker who's looking after the home, such as you two, that you're getting notified, not somebody down in the Caribbean sitting on a sailboat, where they can't do anything about it.
Exactly.
And that's an excellent idea, and I highly recommend that.
Yeah, and you can check out some of our other videos where we've demonstrated the actual uses of that particular product. Well, thank you, Rod, for giving us the time and giving some additional information. It's definitely a use for people, I'm sure.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks.
If you'd like to find out how we can help you, you can visit our website at www.agsecurehomewatch.ca. You can email us at info@agsecurehomewatch.ca or give us a call, 249-888-9061. Thanks for watching.